What's up, Food Podcast? What's up, Food Podcast? Welcome to the Food Podcast. We got rid of Rodrigo. Okay. We're going to start off, bro, like April Fool's, where you guys are not here no more, and it's only me, Mike Young, now.
I'm the new guest
host.
host.
And then you guys show up.
Co-host.
In a little while, like, let's see. Nah?
That's fine. You mean audio-wise?
Audio-wise.
Because people are going to see it right now.
Oh, never mind then.
No, go ahead.
Never mind.
April Fool's on you, Rasa.
How stupid. I saw the live YouTube. All right, never mind.
Those are the guys you're talking to that are going to show up. They're there already.
There, I know. They're here already. They're always here.
They're
in the
calling.
Room.
That's real time right there.
Look how many people are here already.
Bam.
Damn. Hello, brother.
I like that.
We're on now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's up, Food Podcast? We got Rodrigo Torres. We got Johnny Rocker over
doing?
here, man. Straight from shooting the movie The Wanderers. And Lisa right here, man. We're in the suit.
Hi.
Mike Young, what's
My
up,
man.
Food?
Detroit's
finest.
Let them hear.
Not only Detroit finest, but he's also Windsor, Canada's finest.
I mean, I've been over there many, many times. 19-year-old drinking.
Hell yeah, dude.
Fool, I saw this fool one time, man, and when I was opening up for Russell Peters when I was in Windsor.
Yeah.
At Caesars. He showed up, bro.
Showed up. Russell gave me that tight 10.
Yeah.
Keep it tight. His brother sent me home with half my money. We had a good time, man.
You ate breakfast.
We've known each other a long time,
Long ass
bro.
time, man.
Long time. Felipe, one of the good ones.
What's up,
One
fool?
of the good ones.
We used to sit outside, bro. When it was a comedy was outside was dead. We used to listen to old Joe Rogan story when he wasn't there anymore.
Yep.
It was me and Mike Young and Ahmed and Brett Ernst.
Old school, bro.
And then we get into political arguments, bro.
Brett Ernst will talk his way out of anything.
And I'd be like, okay, nobody wants to talk about something else. Like, who's going up tomorrow? Who's gonna fucking try to go up at that fucking club that Jay Davis used to host?
Dublin's,
bro.
classic, bro.
Did you party like those guys, or you never partied, huh?
I mean, I partied, but I was never like a big partier. No, I was about business.
Just bud, huh?
Yeah, just hit the bud, like my Jack and Cokes, sip my tequila.
I never seen you as a drinker.
No, but I just I'm a slow sipper. I
You were more like a sidler, bro.
You know?
You look around, there's Mike Young. He's still here.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I take it slow, Felipe. I don't get out of hand. I don't black out. I don't go crazy. I got to keep my wits about me. You know,
when did you show up
Detroit
to the Comedy Store your first day? When was the first time you went there?
Wow, man. I mean,
Me was like 1995 or no, 96. There was an audition for Comedy Compadres, and it was a show that Carlos Mencia was hosting for Jeff Valdez on Channel 5.
That's where they did the showcase?
Yeah, I heard about it, but I didn't know where the Comedy Store was at the time.
It just aired in L.A.?
Yeah, I was still in the Natural Fudge. Getting bumped by fucking Al Berman and Jamie Kennedy and Cynthia Levine.
damn.
Byron Keith and Ruben Quintana. Or in the Mooney Twins will bump everybody.
I came into the Comedy Store. That was the first place I ever performed. So it was like 96. I was waiting in line on Sundays. I was in the Sunday, waiting line.
Big Fat Chewy.
Yeah, Chewy was fucking slanging dope out the back that nobody knew about for 10 years. You know what I mean? He was running the show. And I was doing the open mic 3-minute shit there for a while. And then boom, I got lucky. I got Pat, Sebastian, Brett, you, Joey Diaz. Like that was kind of like the crew that I came in. Bobby Lee. That's like the crew that I came in.
Martinez.
Yeah. Rest her R.I.P.
Yeah.
She was sweet. But yeah, bro, we were there when it was kind of empty.
Yeah, man.
When shit was going down, room to room.
Bro, back then, bro, people didn't give a fuck, bro. Comedians would just bring their dog on stage, bro. There's this guy, the Todd, I saw him one time. He brought a dog on stage. They didn't want to get off.
Oh we did more shit in that building than I ever did out of that building.
Bro, for a while, man, that was like when Joe, remember when before Joe Rogan had the Joe Rogan Experience, he had JoeRogan.net.
Yeah, dude.
And he was still on that show, Fear Factor. Right? Fear Factor.
Yo, I was opening for him. He
Yeah?
took me on the road.
What was that like back then with the packed shows, right?
Packed shows when he was doing Fear Factor, going on the road. This is Rogan pre-weed.
Pre-UFC.
Joe Rogan didn't smoke weed then. He just grappled. He knew he was going to get into the UFC. Like, we'd go to those gyms, but it was pre-UFC, but they were still talking to him about potentially doing that. But it was like my first experience of playing in front of packed houses and, like,
Doing the
girls on the road and, like, real It was real road shit with Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? I was like,
He was single back then.
He was single. I was single. I was like, yo, bro, I'm from Detroit. I never seen any shit like this. I just want to say thank you. I don't know how Hollywood works. I don't know if I owe you a hand job. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I feel lucky to be here.
That was how I felt too. The first time somebody gave me like a lot of money, I was like, what I gotta kill? What I gotta kill?
Yo, for real.
Like Paul Rodriguez, man, like he gave me more money than I ever made in like 5 months for 3 days.
Dang.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be now? Okay, so every time he showed up to the Laugh Factory, I didn't drink. I knew his favorite drink. It was something really, really fucked up and strong. It was scotch and coffee.
Cut it
Damn.
out.
It was strong, bro, like real strong. And then he'll show up and go, hey, what's up, Paul? And I'll give it to him like fucking Henry Hill. But that shit got me a lot of spots, bro.
Hell yeah. You got to, it's the politics of fame,
Politics, bro. While everybody's complaining, I'm over there talking networking with the only guy that's important here.
Yeah, complaining. I started grappling. I don't grapple. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, Joe, whatever you need, bro. I'll be in the gym.
Put me in a chokehold.
I don't understand, like people think that you're gonna just go open for somebody and you're gonna be in your own hotel room. Nah, man, you gotta kick it, dog.
Yo, you got to kick it
If
for
you don't
real.
kick it, you're not gonna call you back.
Yo, I was with him for a year.
You gotta go to radio.
I started not kicking it. That's when I got thrown off the tour. I was like, yo, bro, I ain't
You gotta
come.
kick it tough
You know
sometimes.
what I mean? Yo, but
you be sleepy and
some-
shit.
Been a band.
At some point, I'm like, yo, bro,
Mike
I
said,
ain't,
I ain't going in that fucking cold room no more.
I ain't making it in the cold plunge. I'm not making it to fucking
Ice
to-
bucket
to-
challenge.
to the lunch. And I'm not wrestling. I don't wrestle. I'll hit the heavy bag. I lift very light weights.
I know, man, like, when you hang out with a comedian that makes money, you're like, what the fuck? I was hanging out with Willie Barcena, and that fool was he had fat chicks, bro, like from doing colleges, like, and he had like a stack, bro, uncashed. I guess that's the thing you do, when you bring a young comic over, you leave 3 checks that are not cashed.
Yeah,
Always
let
the
them see
story.
what.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's what I call balling.
That's always the story, though.
Yeah.
You hear from people like he had all these uncashed checks lying around.
Yeah,
but
what are you
That's
looking for
so
checks at?
I
No, it
can't-
was Luke Torres, actually. Not him. Luke Torres had, because I don't know what he was going through. He was living in his car, but he had like 3 checks, and I gave them to him, and he goes, are you going to cash these? And I didn't know back then why he didn't want to cash them, but it was child support. But, well, he wanted to cash them at a liquor store, bro. He didn't want to take
Point
those checks
shave.
to a bank. Yeah, man, so.
I didn't realize that that's like a real thing because Brian Callen
I
did that
didn't
shit
know,
years
bro.
ago too. He kept bragging about the checks he didn't cash. Bro, I cash the check and I get the cash. I keep the cash. There's no uncashed checks around. You know what I mean?
Just laying around.
I don't know
hanging
when
out.
shit's gonna go bad again.
I like what time?
There's no uncashed checks.
Fuck around, have to grab.
Okay, Lisa and I, that's my wife. 2000, it was 2008, 2009. We were over there. I was like doing every fucking show at the Laugh Factory, right? How's the sound? All right. I was doing every show at the Laugh Factory,
Yep.
and I went over there to get my check, and then I saw like, okay, I had like 3 checks. I did every freaking show, like for 1 month, bro.
Straight.
And it was a good check. But then I looked at the check at the fucking list. Bob Saget's, bunch of checks haven't been claimed. Then I saw Harlan Williams, me and Paula Bell waiting for $25, bro.
Saget's got $19,000 worth of checks. He hasn't cashed.
worth
He hasn't-
$35 spots.
They
Easily.
expired. Oh, so I'm hanging out with Willie, right? And that fool was doing colleges. He's doing clubs. He got development deals, bro. I'm new. I got bad teeth. You know, I'm living off my dad's money. That I'm holding for him. He don't know I'm taking it.
The
You know?
Esparza family nobody knows about.
The
Dun, dun,
trust.
dun. And regret it now. And and then like I'm thinking, man, this fool eat 3 times a day, bro. He ain't even treating. Well, I didn't care about treating, but like
Don't
I
put it
can't-
in my face.
I can't be eating 3 times a day, bro. I eat 1 time. That's it.
That's it.
Crumbs on my
I
ass.
gotta go to no movies again. But back then I was a comedian, but I wasn't getting no money, bro. It was out of my money.
It's a scrappy game, man. Until you start, it's a scrappy game.
Hell yeah, bro.
You got to play that, like you said, that politics. Like, I was on the road for a year with Rogan, but then I really wasn't hanging out like that. Like, I can only hang out so much. I'm getting the 12 o'clock lunch call. You know what I mean? You got to be at lunch at 12. He's got Brian, who's Red Band, is his assistant at the time. He's got he's like the computer wizard kid that's like heartbroken over his girl. And we're just, dunking trussels on the road. And it's like Joe was just like, yo, be at lunch at 12. And I did that for like a year. But then then yeah, I started not hanging as much, and next thing you know, bam, that call doesn't come, you know. But you gotta man up and be your own man.
I started doing like a lot of blow and getting fucked up when I was opening up for Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah.
And I was just getting tired, man, like tired of waiting to eat when they wanted to eat.
Yeah.
So they would go to sleep at 4 or 5 in the morning playing Madden, smoking weed, and then we'll get up at around eat at 2.
Yeah.
Like a full fucking meal,
2 in the
bro.
morning?
2 p.m.
No, 2 p.m.
Full
when you
meal.
woke up.
Like breakfast. We're not talking lunch. It's breakfast.
Right.
Eggs, pancakes.
Cracker Barrel style.
Cracker Barrel style, man. And then we get to the show. We fuck up the show food. But then this fool want to go fucking dinner, dives, and drives at 2 in the morning, bro.
Yo, bro, you're not that size.
And
Like,
then you go, I'm not that size.
Mowing down.
And then like we're over there, bro. They got like, we ate at 2 in the morning, 1 midnight, but it was good food, man. But it was a lot, bro. You ever ate at Topo de Jojo or Topo de Gijo? Topo Gijo, right next to Zanies?
No.
Chicago?
In Chicago, it's an Italian restaurant. I thought we were just gonna order food now, bro.
Yeah.
They kept bringing food.
Yeah.
Then they brought first. They had like a regular meal. It was like bread and butter and fucking olive oil,
You
right?
guys got courses.
Yeah, courses, right? And then it was like, bro, like a little bit of cheese on it, not a lot. Then they brought fucking those little tiny ribs, back ribs.
Yeah, short ribs.
Short ribs.
Yeah.
They were all spiced up they were delicious.
Yeah.
They were good. After that, after there was a lot of juice from the thing, the manager, what are you guys doing? He goes, it's already gone. Grab that bread and dip it. So we grabbed
Sop
that
it
bread.
up.
Oh my God. I was tasting everyone's fingers.
Yeah.
But then they brought pizzas, like real thin fucking pizzas.
Yeah, bro.
Then they brought
like
our
constipation.
they brought our meals, which were huge meals.
Gross.
After our meals, they brought up a big layer of a bunch of spumino, whatever that fucking ice cream is. Spumoni. And there was like a bunch of little cakes all over the fucking table, fruit.
Yo, bro, I don't do
We
shit
ate,
like that.
okay, we ate all that, right? Then on the way home, there was like a pizza, like a cheesesteak factory. He turned around and goes, who owns the cheesecake factory? And I said, fuck that shit. And everybody laughed. And I was done.
You were done.
I was done, bro.
Yeah, bro, but you're gonna be a healthier person for getting off that fucking tour. You know what I mean? He was trying to get you to be his size. You ain't that. You don't have it like that.
I don't got time for no knee surgery, bro.
No, bro. You're fully on the road right now. It's protein only right now.
I think that he had a personal trainer at one time, and that fool couldn't hang. He quit. Listen, man, I can't be getting up at 2 p.m. with you guys.
Yeah, we're going backwards. The trainer was getting out of shape.
He was smoking, bro.
Yeah.
I know, huh?
Yo, but that is interesting because you gotta, when you're coming up and you're opening for somebody, you gotta deal with that fucking politics of how do you handle. I mean, yo, I'm
10 years from now, Johnny he'll be saying, man, I lost a lung hanging out with Felipe.
You look tired, bro.
Always
looks exhausted.
He looks like he's gonna drop dead every day.
Yo, bro, I didn't know who he was by himself out front of the building. I'm like, yo, I don't know if we should let this dude. He seems maybe like he doesn't
That's
belong
Ronnie
here.
Reagan.
He said, "No, I don't have $1."
Yeah, but I knew something was up because his jacket was nice. I was like, I'm like, his shit looks tired, but he's got a nice jacket.
Someone else's
shiny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know what that is though, bro. You gotta play that personality game, you know. But like, you know, you're not like that. You're not dragging everybody. You're doing your thing. You got your boys with you. You're not gonna make them do this, eat this. Fuck
Hell
that.
no.
Certain people, they got the
This
ego.
fool had some barbecue, bro. Some scrape.
Burrito eating contest, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he made one time he got the whole crew and they had a hamburger eating contest.
Oh.
Yeah, fuck that.
For
He's
Instagram.
trying to kill everybody.
And Paul Rodrigo walked away. The winner gets to sell merch.
See, that's just some bullshit. That's torture. That's some ego torture shit. You know what I mean? Like, I like headliners that just don't even call you. Like, I opened with Sebastian. I did like 9 shows with him recently, you know? I didn't even see him. We were on the same fucking bus. I didn't see him. He stayed in his back of his bus. He left me alone. I left him alone. He wasn't asking for lunch. Just stay, you know what I mean? We're both men. Fucking live your life, bro. You don't have to, I ain't your, you know, I'm not making you my fucking slave. You ain't my fucking sidekick.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? But that being said, I'd give love to Joe Rogan for bringing me out there, showing me what it was to play in front of a big ass audience and fucking
Orgies, right?
Orgies. I don't want to disrespect. There's a woman in the house. Your wife is here. I could say some things
That's all right.
have happened
Don't
on the
feel
road.
free.
I've seen it, bro. I've seen it on JoeRogan.net.
That motherfucker. That was not cool.
I can't believe
I
they
know what
posted
you're
that
saying.
up. And you had a girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you had a girlfriend.
I knew I had. Yeah.
didn't
Everyone knew. You didn't know.
I must have played that shit like 5 times, bro.
What was it?
But you know what was fun?
What was it though? We don't know what it
I'll
is.
say what it is.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You say what it is.
Okay, I'll say my version, eh? So, JoeRogan.net.
Dancing Bear.
JoeRogan.net. Back in the days, you guys don't remember? It was, damn, he would have Joe Diaz doing crazy shit, man. Like, busting out of posters naked with his boots on and chaos. And keep in mind, back then, there was no one at the nobody was minding the comedy store.
Empty night at the store.
Empty
No one
night.
was minding the store.
Now, like, back then, if you probably got bullied. Because nobody was watching shit, man.
Yo, I've thrown chairs across the room back in the day. In the original room.
Back then,
Melee.
Don Barry was a man because he was the only one that had a real job.
Right. Totally.
He was the fucking warm-up for
Kimmel.
the Man Show.
Oh, yeah, for the Man Show.
And he was working, bro. Everybody else was just
Scraping by.
scraping by.
But I know what Felipe's leading on to is
this
Sunday late.
Sunday night. This crazy-ass chick shows up. I'll never forget her, bro. She looks like fucking that chick from Lost Boys. I don't know her name.
Kiefer Sutherland?
Jamie Gertz.
Jamie Gertz.
Yeah.
And she has glasses. And then she's on this science trip because I read what they wrote about her, that she just wanted to be a freak.
Didn't you say she was also a teacher?
She was a teacher, and she just wanted to experience the whole Hollywood nightlife.
She's a
So
race.
she made out with a bunch of dudes, bro, before the thing, because I read everything. And then she's giving him a BJ on stage, but you don't see nothing but the back of her head.
Yeah, I got a BJ. I got a blowjob on stage at
Cut.
the Comedy Store at 1 o'clock in the morning. on a
Cut
Sunday.
2. Another comedian
an
goes,
audience?
Cut 2, though. Another comedian, nameless, he goes up on stage later on and makes out with her.
Yeah.
And then they put a little arrow. They put a little arrow in his mouth and say, "Look at my young jizz."
Oh.
That was
it
fucked up.
Yo, it didn't go that far, but the episode ended up on JoeRogan.net.
.net.
And Joe was up there. There was pictures. Shit was going down.
Joe
and I
Diaz
had a
called
girl at
me.
the I had
You
a
need a
girl at the
girlfriend.
time, and so I had to call Joe the next day and go, bro, please, because he named my name. My whole
Fuck,
name was on
yeah,
there.
your whole
I was
name.
like, bro, please take, and I was living. I'm like, because part of the dream is to do all that kind of shit. The dream
Right.
of being a comedian is being a comedian, but it comes with like sub dreams.
You
That
need to
was
be
one
in
of the
some
sub dreams. That was a sub dream, and I was living
So
the
is
sub
that
dream.
why you did it? Because of the sub dream?
Yeah,
or
I
was
was
it
like,
because
yo.
you felt forced into it?
No, I was no.
You want to hang?
She was
No?
I had her dancing on stage first. Then she took the
Mm-hmm.
giant coat off. Then she got on her knees, and I was like, "All right, game on." I fucking turned around. There was probably 5-6 people in the audience.
sad,
2
huh?
comedians. It was,
Yeah, it was
listen,
8.
We were all crying.
Cause back then,
Everybody was sad.
Back then, I think the Tommy will come out and look at the audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 11. We got a show. Okay, start the show.
Totally.
Because if it was 6, no show. 8 to 11, yes.
Yo, it went down. I had a girl at the time. Next day, my shit pops up on JoeRogan.net. I had to call Joe and go, dude, please, you have to take this down. My girl's like a fan of yours. She could potentially look at this. So, of course, he like blurs my face out,
Yeah.
changes my name, but then writes like some shit the next sentence down, like Mike Young was a real bitch last night. Like something,
What?
you know what I mean? Like it was like something funny, but like he had to give me a little jab just because I had made him
Yeah.
take it down.
Why are you being such a pussy?
Yeah, I was like, yo.
Anyway, that chick ended up hanging out for 3 more days, bro, till Wednesday. And Joe Diaz calls me up and goes, bro, look at this chick over here.
She hung out for 3 days. Then, by the way, before Rogan got married, it was game on, bro. Because I remember another girl at the Comedy Store came, beautiful, and we walk in the back, and Rogan's like, Young, take her on a tour. That was the tour was the move. So we go, yo, we
The
went
hallway move.
Yo, it was
Tight.
it was a one hallway, make a left, go to it, because there were 7 empty bathrooms back then. Like the place was deserted.
Remember
There was
what-
rooms everywhere, bro.
Yes.
Rooms everywhere. And it went down, and I did what I did with this girl in an empty fucking room, and we walked back. I thought she was by herself or with her friends. We walk out, me and Rogan are looking in there. She's on a date. And she went from me and to sit next to her date. And I was like, I think I got to get out of here. You know what I mean? This is how you get killed.
That's the Hollywood life, bro. That's how they do it out there.
Yeah, bro. It's all part of the dream. You know that, Felipe? I didn't get in this game just to
crazy.
tell jokes. I'm a fucking kid from Detroit, bro.
I was on stage
I was
once.
stealing car radios in 96.
I was on stage once, and Don Barris showed up with those two girls that do the jumping on the trampoline, but they were fucking loaded, bro.
Yeah.
They were fucking loaded, bro. And I was on stage, and I said, Don Barris, you know how Don Barris was going to say, I'm going to grant anybody here a wish tonight. Any wish, I'm going to grant it. So I went up there, man, I wanted to be on stage with two chicks, they too. And those chicks go up on stage, bro, awesome. And then fucking the dice man in the back clapping, like, yeah, I approve.
I approve. Yo, those were the days of the comedy
You
store.
know how many people were there, bro? 7.
Yep.
Armando Cosillo, Gabriel Iglesias, Tony Sanchez, Ivan Cuellar, and a bunch of other comedians in the back.
Yo, we used to have a great
Bro,
time there.
you used to do it. Remember when you would do a joke? You had the best fucking line when a joke didn't go so well.
Did I? I don't even remember.
Or was it Mike Rick? I don't know who it was.
I don't
Remember those back in the days, huh?
Yo, that was that's
know-
the beginning days,
You
bro.
know when people say, you know, they do a movie about the Comedy Store when it was happening. Now the real movie was when it wasn't happening.
100%.
100%.
100%.
That's when you
Fuck
had
the excitement.
that's when you had the
shit was really
that's
going
when-
down when it was empty.
That's when you have the Freddie Novaks, you know, going up. People late at night.
Steven Rudder, that one guy on the guitar.
Rick
He was bad. Rick Wright.
Rick Wright.
He used to close it up with Stairway to Gilligan's Island.
He was bad,
Now
dog.
sit right back and you hear a tale.
Yo, the Charles Fleischer doing cartoon voices.
And then doing that black voice for the big laugh.
Yeah. Yo.
He also does carpentry.
Yo.
Put like some shit on the mic too, like with a rubber band.
Yeah. No. Those were the days.
Those were the days,
Xylophone.
dude, where Eddie Griffin walk in and he'll bump you for 4 hours.
Yo, bro. Do you remember the night I got beat up? Remember
No.
that? Do you remember that night?
You got beat up by who?
Remember I got in like a little bit of trouble with like some organized crime situation? Do you remember that at all? So it's a bad story. I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but I got in trouble with the wrong people. I didn't know what happened, and long story
It wasn't
short,
Joe Pesci at the Laugh Factory.
it wasn't
right? With
Pesci,
Red.
but it was like some people like Pesci's World. And I had
Gambling?
I was working. No, it wasn't
No?
gambling. I was doing I was hosting a comedy night. A fight broke out.
Thousand Guido night.
It was some Guido shit.
Jimmy and Joey.
Yo, I got in a fight. I beat up a dude. He was a connected guy. I didn't
Fuck.
know. Yo, I got in bad trouble. Long story short, I went to hide at the Comedy Store after I beat him up because I heard who he was and he was looking for me. And I go up there and
Nicky
it's like,
Scarfo.
yo, and it's the one night that Eddie Griffin decides not to do an hour. So I'm hiding out, all messed up. Sam Tripoli sees me. He's like, yo, what's wrong? I'm like, the fucking mob's after me. And I got blood on my neck. I'm a mess from the whole thing. And Eddie Griffin gets off after 10 minutes. And they're like, yo, Mike, you're up next. I'm like, I can't go on tonight. I can't go on tonight. Like, they're looking for me in the streets. But I ended up going on, and I was so scared. I didn't tell a single joke. No joke. I didn't tell a joke. I stayed on just, like, mumbling for, like, out of fear for, like, 10, 15 minutes. But Eddie Griffin usually went on for an hour and a half. No one said anything. This night, he decides to get off for 10 minutes. They're like, Mike, you're up.
Damn.
I'm like, yo, organized crime's looking for me. I got to get off stage.
How'd the fight start?
The fight started, bro, while I'm on the microphone doing something. I'm on the mic, and a dude gets headbutted right in front of me. I just see a dude get headbutted. And, and I jump down like a stupid ass, and I'm like, yo, bro, calm down. And he's in a suit. And he's like, yo, bro, you know who I am? You know who I am? And I'm thinking to myself, this dude seems like a pit bull. Like, he's got that type of shit. Like, the veins are popping, and he just headbutted. No one's headbutted in 50 years. That move, except for Willie Barcena in Chicago. You know what I mean? No one headbutts. This dude headbutted him. I tried to calm it down. He told me he's going to kill me. He starts waving his hand like this over my head. And out of instinct and stupidity, boom, I swung on him.
Gave him the cannoli.
I swung on him, and the shit went down. And I don't want to tell the whole story just because it's crazy, but let's just say organized crime division police were coming to see me. It became a whole serious, real thing.
Wow.
A very real thing.
It's funny you say that because there was one night that Fluffy and I somebody called us and told us that they were going to put our names on the Comedy Store wall.
Yeah.
So they put our names up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm standing right outside going, okay. So right across the street of that hotel, what do you call that?
Mondrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some fucking Guido guy is standing right there. He's just standing there, bro. He is just standing there. Bro, 10 fucking Continental trucks, those fucking Chrysler trucks show up. A tow truck shows up. They fucking handcuff him. They take off his shoes. They put him inside the truck and they fucking tow his car. No questions asked. Like they fucking swooped.
Yeah.
Maybe with the protection program, maybe you're fucking you're gone, motherfucker. Maybe the fugitive from the law.
Damn.
But dude, there was no LAPD. There was nobody there, bro. It was all
U.S.
feds.
Marshals and shit.
Yeah. Yo, when they found out when my thing was going down, I was getting visited by LAPD
Fucking highwaymen and shit.
every
huh?
week. They were coming at me because they wanted me to try to press charges against the dude, and I just never talked. So they kept coming to me, and I just stayed silent.
Motherfuckers can't get him for murders. They want to get him from assault.
You know what I mean? But it became a whole nother thing. It was like,
Damn, that fucking sucks, dude.
yeah.
Beat up the wrong dude.
I beat up the wrong dude. For real. I hurt him bad, too.
You
I
should've
caught him.
maybe-
The one punch I threw in 10 years, I hadn't been in a fight.
Hagler threw that
one-
punch in '89.
You know, it was a Tommy Hearns. Heavy hand, long
Should have
reach.
called Mike Marino to get the.
The bet.
Mike Mike
Jimmy,
Marino.
get the bet.
Marino, I need your merch.
Is that the most unlooking Italian guy ever, huh?
For sure. He might not even be Italian, man. I don't believe anything from anybody
There are
anymore.
those blonde hair, blue
Yeah.
eyes.
I mean, I know they exist, but
I don't believe it.
Robert
Anybody.
Duvall.
I lived next
Yeah.
to these Capone kids, and they had
There you
one.
go.
They had one brother. They were all dark hair, dark eyes, dark skin. He was blonde, blue eyed.
Was
His
this
name was
in
Vito.
Chicago?
No, this is Aurora, Colorado, but they moved from Brooklyn to there.
Yeah, if you're
the
ever
family
in a-
split up and they came to Colorado and lived in Section 8
Sinatra was a
housing with
blonde.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find people. That's a beautiful thing, though, about stand-up comedy. You meet all kinds of characters on the
world.
road.
Yeah, man.
So when the shit was kind of going down with me, there were people. Listen, I always say, like, when you make people laugh, and I know you've already got this. Like, there's bad people who love you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if Felipe had, God forbid, some problems, I guarantee there's numbers he could call, and they'd be like, "Yo, bro, we fucking love you, bro. What do you for $2,000? We'll take care of everything."
I think about
You got
500.
Maybe
500,
500.
yeah. Free tickets to the next show.
Yeah.
Let's do
Tickets.
it.
Just to hang out in the green room, bro.
Yeah.
But that's like the beauty of stand-up is that like you make friends with bad, like bro, even Saget, the nicest person in the world who plays the TV's favorite father.
Has a leg breaker.
We were no, he doesn't have them, but like we were doing a show somewhere.
He has them
7
on speed
bikers
dial.
from like a biker gang showed up. They're like, Bob, like because Bob did like a reality show with
Yeah.
them, so they loved him. Fresh off the bikes, vest, you know what I mean? Motorcycle
Crazy,
club.
right?
They
1% patch.
love Saget.
When I was opening up for Russell Peters in Kelowna in Canada, like Russell's family was also there. Russell was gambling, but I was on the Russell table, but I was in the last part of the table, the projects, the one that ain't gonna get no meat, no bread. So, but I was sitting with these white dudes, and we were just telling jokes forever. It turns out they were just old Hell's Angels.
Yep.
Had all their belts, they had HA, they had 81s, but they were the local.
Let me tell you something, bro.
They were like, we were telling jokes, bro. Like one dude will tell a joke, this other guy will tell a joke.
Matching joke.
Funny ass fucking jokes, bro. And then we were laughing.
Yep.
Those fools said, anytime you want to come down, invite us to your show.
That's if ever there was a problem, Russell's somebody I would call because Russell is connected.
He
like
knows
that.
everyone.
He's got the ring, bro. Like he
Yeah.
hosted like Angels like one of their weddings.
Kelowna,
They
right?
love him. They love him. Yo, after one of the shows at the factory, Russell's like, "Yo, come to
Didn't-
dinner with us."
Wasn't there a raid on one of their chapters and his name came up too?
I don't know. I didn't see that, but
But it sounds good.
Sounds great.
'Cause
He's
I-
probably financing his own
That's all that
chapter. Meanwhile, Russell can't ride a motorcycle.
threw it in there.
He's never been on a scooter.
The Indian detective over here.
Yeah, no.
With my little paper.
Yeah, we went to after the show at the factory, me, Russell, and Chuck Zito,
Oh,
who was one of the
damn.
original member dudes, went to the eat at the Rainbow Room, and Chuck Zito's, he's probably 60 years old, but he'll still rip a phone book in half.
Yeah, the fucking mozzarella stick here.
There's pictures of him all over the Rainbow Room too,
Fucking rip motherfuckers' arms
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
huh?
It's one of the cool things about comedy. You meet a lot of characters.
What's up, fool? It's time for the Joey Coco minute, bro.
Fucking
Bro, I wrote down these words, bro. You gotta write a Joey Coco Diaz about this. 1978, Queens, pawn knuckles, diamonds, moved to Seattle, bro.
Bro, he moved to Seattle. And this guy used to make bombs for fucking ISIS before it was fucking ISIS. With one fucking eye, he was like RoboCop. Doot, 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 doot. Boom. That's all that fucking happened. What happened?
We gotta start out with a story, bro. 1978.
Thought that's what you were doing, bro.
Nah.
He's on nah. 1978 Queens, Paul Knuckles, Diamonds moved to Seattle. Yeah, that's what I said.
Joey Diaz did time it. He was locked up for 9 months, right? That's what he told me. It's always the perfect amount of time for pregnancy.
I was drinking Sprites.
So said he was locked up for like 9 months. That's funny.
So it's fucking Bowser over here, bro. Or Shana now.
Yo, Felipe, what's going on here? Is this the
Super
tour? Like, is this the tour? Is this?
Well, Lisa the manager.
Yeah, no, I know that. She's running the show. You open?
Yeah.
Boom. Middle?
open.
Yeah, no.
Bam.
host.
You
He'll
okay?
host. He'll do like a guest spot, and then most of the time we'll pull in a local feature in the area.
Yeah.
That we know. So.
Yo, I love it, man. I mean, I've known Felipe forever, bro. We were, you know what I mean? Just two dudes lingering from different cultures. You know what I mean? Mutual respect.
Wild Coyotes.
You know what I mean? A Jew from Detroit, and I don't even know where you're from.
Boyle Heights.
Are you from Boyle Heights
Yeah.
out
It used
here?
to be a Jewish neighborhood. Yeah.
Used to be a Jewish neighborhood.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
You grew up out here?
Yeah.
Did I know that? I think I might have known that.
Where do you think he grew up?
I don't know.
New
Top of
York.
your head. New
Highland
York.
Park.
In Seattle with Paul Knuckles.
Yo, by the way, you just reminded me, like, when the store was empty, it's because I got Bobby Lee's picture right in front of me.
Yeah.
Yo, I literally almost ruined Bobby Lee's career when he got Mad TV or in the middle of Mad TV. Bobby Lee's, like back in the day, he wasn't sober. You know what I mean?
No, he was
was
Yeah,
fucking
he's
disaster.
been on the show before. He talks about it.
he was a
yeah.
disaster.
If you saw Bobby walking in with overalls, bro, he was Chucky, bro.
Yeah, he was fucking rolling up the Elmer's, gluing his fingers. You know what I mean? He was just a mess. But he was like, Mike Young, I'm making money. I'm killing it. Let's get some hookers. I'm like, all right, maybe we do. I'm not afraid. Bobby Lee goes to the back of the LA Weekly.
Rodrigo like, where was I?
Bobby Lee's like,
In Montebello.
finds a number in the back of LA Weekly, calls the
Damn,
number. He's
LA
like, Mike
Weekly,
Young, you're
a free
driving.
paper.
Yo, he's like, you're driving down to the motel down the street, right? We go down. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Again, sub dream, part of the dream. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking live the dream. My boy's on Mad TV. He wants to get hookers. Let's go. We're doing it all.
Fuck some fugitives.
You know what I mean? See what happens. Bobby Lee, we go down there and we pull into the motel. We go up the stairs to the room that we're supposed to go to. I look to the left. I got street sense. I know what's going on. I see
Fuck
like a
yeah.
guy and a girl just lingering. Something doesn't look right. I'm like,
Never
yo,
got the hooker?
yep.
Yeah.
I hate when you fucking call them and they say no driver and a driver shows up.
Yeah. This
That's one of
wasn't
those situations.
This wasn't a driver though. I could tell these were two cops waiting for a sting operation.
Oh.
So I said, Bobby, this isn't good, bro. This is a sting operation, but we're not going in. He's like, no, fuck that. I'm going in. I'm like, I'll be in the car. Like, you do what you got to do, but when you go in, make sure you ask her if she's a cop. Bobby Lee doesn't care. He goes in, and I'm sitting in the car, and 40 seconds later, he comes out running down the stairs because she wouldn't answer him. Next night on the news, major prostitution ring busted at that motel. Same motel. Shut it down. I saved Bobby and almost ruined him in one night.
Damn.
Good side story. I don't like talking about that shit in front of your wife, bro.
Don't worry about it. I've heard lots of stuff.
She heard words, bro.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Yeah,
But back in the day, you're right.
Back to
A
people-
show should be done about the empty days.
Yeah, because
in
the empty
store.
day, because they have Brian Holtzman there. He was an animal. Johnny Sanchez, he ain't no angel.
Johnny Sanchez.
Freddie Soto, rest in peace.
Don't forget about
He
Jay
was
London.
another successful comedian at the time.
Bro, who, Freddie?
Freddie.
God, I love Freddie, man. The best set I think I ever had was before Freddie came on. I had just the perfect amount of weed and tequila. And I don't know what kind of zone I was in, but I was on autopilot. I remember Freddie came up and he's like, how do you follow that? But he followed it. And you know what was crazy? Fucking Freddie, man. He was such a good dude. Where did he pass away? In Phoenix?
No,
LA.
LA. Hollywood.
It was right after he did Tempe, though. Like, he had just done
Yeah, he just
Tempe.
got back.
Right. So I did Tempe the week after him. And at the time, Dan Murr was talking about how heavy he was drinking, how hard he was going. And I had no idea Freddie was going like that. Like,
Me neither.
I thought he was semi-healthy. I had no idea he was partying like hardcore. You don't know, man. You don't know what fucking people are going through. You know? You don't know.
Hell yeah.
You gotta keep it semi-healthy, bro. You know what I mean? Semi. Don't be eating those fucking short ribs when they put them in your face all the time.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? Trust me, bro.
They got rid of the stars. Joey would always show the little stars, the little one.
Fuck you up, dog.
Edible. Chew.
Yeah.
I don't
man.
do that. Yo, Rogan got me to eat edibles back in the day. I don't fuck with edibles.
I stopped that years ago.
I don't touch edibles, bro. You don't know if you're getting all the weed in the head of the gummy bear. You don't know what you're getting. I can't.
You had a bad experience?
Yeah, on the plane that I couldn't get off. Yeah, it was just a bad experience. I went into full paranoia,
The plane's the
full
worst.
body high.
Yeah.
I don't like
The
it.
paranoia
I like to
is
take my
horrible
one
on
hit
the
of the
airline.
flower that I know what I'm old school, bro. I got a pipe with weed in it right now. You know what I mean? You haven't seen this shit in 20 years. But I don't do the pens. I don't do the edible shit. I just go old school. Give me the buds. I'm
Little
good.
screen in the
It's
pipe.
all about the backwoods.
No screen right now.
This
but I should have a
backwood
screen.
Lisa over here.
Backwood.
818 backwood
That's all
Lisa.
I want is a backwood. I don't want a bong. I don't want edibles.
Yeah.
I don't want wax. I don't want any of that stuff.
Where are you from? Here?
Ohio.
Dayton in
Dayton,
the house.
Ohio. I'm about 6 hours from Detroit.
Dayton.
The
Is that where
armpit
LeBron's
of America.
No, he's
No,
from,
Akron.
Oh,
Akron, Ohio.
Right.
I'm right between Cincinnati and Columbus.
So you got to go when it was you and Joe Rogan. It was just you, Joe Rogan, and Ryan Redband. Because I don't remember him.
And he would bring like Duncan. So like Duncan would open,
Russell.
I would middle,
Yeah.
boom, and Joe would do it. And then sometimes Joey
Ari.
Diaz would come with us.
And Ari.
Sometimes Ari. You know, it was that rotation. And then when when I got thrown off the tour, it was the rest of them forever. You know what I mean? I'm unmanageable, bro. I'm hard to. I don't know. I just don't play the games. I don't play games. I don't play the the politics.
But also you're writing now. You wrote for Michael Rapaport.
Yeah, I wrote. So I've been writing, bro, a lot.
And I am impressed.
What was
Thanks,
this called?
bro.
What was his book called
Because I
again?
want to
It's
write a
called-
book too.
I got you.
Thank you, bro.
I got you.
I didn't know you were all like that, bro. But I know you were. I know you were like when I would hear the conversation. I always tell Lisa, yeah, it was Mike Young, it was Ahmed, it was Maz Jobrani. They were arguing Brett Ernst. They were arguing for days.
Yeah, I mean, I never got into political shit, but I
Yeah.
was always writing on the side. Like I've always been a writer.
You've
Even
always
from
been a
college.
writer?
Always on the side. I was always trying to sell screenplays. You know, just
You
on
wrote
the-
scripts before?
Yeah, so I never sold anything, but then luckily I got they hired me to do this movie called My Man Is a Loser that came out, with Lionsgate, which was starring Rapaport, John Stamos, and Brian Callen. So that was like my first movie that got made. And then they let me direct the movie. So I wrote it, directed it. It was a $5 million movie for my first movie. So I was like, whoa. It was like it was a lot of work. I looked homeless after the shit was over. Like I looked like a disaster. A lot of work. But then Rapaport and I became good friends on that movie. And he had a book deal. He had a book offer from Simon & Schuster. And he called me and he said, yo, would you be the ghostwriter for my book? And so we cut a deal. And I ghost wrote his book with him. And his book's called This Book Has Balls. So it's like really just Rapaport's rants, but I kind of had to just organize them into a real chapter by chapter, situation. And it ended up being a great thing, man. So I love writing.
How do you ghostwrite a book for people who don't know, like fucking Ron Clasher?
Was it one of those as told to or as?
So
how did you get a credit on
Did
the?
you hung out with him?
Yeah, we hung out every day. So every day Rapaport, like say Rapaport had an idea for a chapter. Say the chapter was about Muggsy Bogues. And like
Muggsy Bogues.
And so the chapter was about why isn't Muggsy Bogues giving TED Talks? Like everyone wants to talk about who's such a genius. How about a 5'1" dude who had no chance at the NBA and became a 12-year NBA player? Let's talk about him. So then he gave that idea to me, and then I turned the chapter into like Muggsy Bogues from childhood, and like kind of like what Muggsy Bogues must have been like how cocky and strong he must have been when like they wanted him to play in The Wizard of Oz and play Toto. He's like, no, I'm the lion. So Rapaport would have an idea, email it to me. I'd start the chapter, send it to him for like an okay. And then he'd be like, yo, I love that, run with it. And then I'd write each chapter. And then the book had to be 75,000 words by contract. And so we did chapters on LeBron. We did why Lawrence Taylor was the greatest football player of all time, because every record he set, he was on crack cocaine. So it was really like a comedy take on all Rapaport's, ideas and rants. So it was just a process, and so it's a lot of work, but we'd probably meet up once a week, but every night, he'd basically send me ideas. And Rapaport's got that type of brain that's like not really linear like that. So he'd be like, a misspelled sentence of like, Muggsy Bogues, TED Talk, he should do this. And then I kind of come in and just, boom, make it a full chapter. So, it's just a discipline. And, and then so I did the book. And then after My Man Is a Loser, I got lucky after that. And then Netflix bought my movie, A Stand-Up Guy. So I wrote and directed another movie called A Stand-Up Guy. It's on Netflix right now.
Who stars in it?
I put Rapaport in that one also, but this kid Danny A, who's like in The Irishman coming up, and Danny A's in it. Saget I put in, gave him a cameo, and it's about a gangster that goes into the witness protection program I think I don't know if I told you, but
No.
goes into witness protection program, and on a dare, he does an open mic night in the city that he's hiding in, and he's good at comedy. And he gets on an open mic. His shit kind of starts to blow up in the small town. The mob's looking for him. He gets in a fight one night on stage. It goes viral on somebody's phone. Gets like 1 million hits, and the fucking mob is on him. So he has to come back, obviously, to Brooklyn and like testify. And I mean, it goes. They don't kill him. I'll tell you the ending. Fuck, it's been on Netflix for 1.5 years. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. But so the guys come after him, and then they do not kill him. He gets to do the Tonight Show as like the last beat. He's like a rising comedy star. So it was just it was an idea that I got when that shit went down with me. I was like, I gotta write something inspired by this. So I was like, I always had the thought, like, if I had to go into if you ever had to go into witness protection, what are you gonna just stop being funny?
Yeah.
No, you're gonna be the funniest dude in that little tiny town. And so that's where I got the idea. And then that was my second movie, writing and directing. And then, yeah, man, I gotta, then I just sold another one that Lionsgate's gonna do called The District. It's a drama. So I've been writing, bro. Like I'm still doing my stand-up strong, like trying to keep my both brains going. But to me, it's like the same thing. It's like you write your stand-up, right?
Yeah.
You write your stand-up, but this is just I'm just like, disciplined with the writing, and I love it. I love writing, just almost as much as I love doing stand-up. So I'm keeping them both going.
You like writing better than you do stand-up, Johnny? Or you like both?
I like stand-up because I get that instant response, but I like writing because I can control the world.
Right.
Like if I want to kill somebody in a script, I do it.
Exactly.
If I don't, I bring them back to life somehow.
Exactly. It's a safe place to live out your murderous
all your
fantasies.
weird fantasies.
Yeah. No, but it's true. But what I like about writing is that like you write, and when you get in that zone, boom, you look up and it's like 3 hours are gone. That's like that. That's the shit I like. It's like you really put in work, but you didn't even see. It was like almost like your unconscious is just working. So, I'm writing and I'm like, developing stuff, writing stuff for other like comedians and, whatever. I got a movie idea for us, bro. I got something.
All right.
I got something, bro.
You're working right now with a show with Bob Saget, right?
So I wrote on I wrote on Saget's new show. It's called Videos After Dark. So it's like an edgy version of what he used to do with like the video show.
Oh, okay.
America's Funniest Videos, but it's like a late night sexy version. So I wrote that for Saget.
So is it like bloopers of like Skinemax
Yeah.
sort of shows?
It's
and
like
stuff,
it's
or
like
movies and stuff?
yeah.
Like that video that woman put in that man put in his hand in that woman's ass and then having her smell it.
Yeah, stuff like that. By the way,
that's
shit I didn't
tough.
laugh at
That's
when I was growing up.
nasty.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, I'll be real. Like I didn't. If you ever fell down and got hurt, you really don't laugh at people falling down and getting hurt because you're like, oh shit, that's a concussion. That's 40 stitches. Like you know what it is. But it was great because the show, it's called Videos After Dark, and we premiered last Tuesday after The Bachelor finale.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So now they're gonna move us to a 10 o'clock spot, and it'll be on. And I'm the writer, bro. I'm one of the writers. Me, Saget, and this guy Michael O'Rourke, who's like another writer. And I like writing at home alone more than I like being in that writer's room. Because you just catch a cold. You know what I mean? You're in that office shit. I'm not an office guy. Like Saget's always like, yo, why are you always pacing around? I'm like, yo, bro, I can't sit still. Like I don't sit still.
Do you type on a computer or you write it?
Both. Like if I like my comedy, I'll like, go right to a pad, like a legal pad.
Yeah, me too.
But then I transfer it over to the computer and just do it that way. So I'm computer now.
Well, Joe writes a shitload, right?
Yeah, dude, on paper.
Yeah. Are you writing? You write movie stuff or just whatever?
Jokes and shit, little
Yeah.
fucking stories.
It's like I tell anybody, man. Like people ask me about like making movies or whatever. I always say this: it's like you got an idea. At this point, it doesn't cost anything to go shoot something. So it's like, yo, don't let somebody else tell you what your funny shit's gonna be. Just go get your boys with a camera, go shoot it. You know what I mean? On your own, and go edit it on your own or with one of your friends who knows how to edit. And then nobody can say like, I got a great idea for you. You go here. This is my idea. This is the show that I want to do. Hand it over. And if they like it, they like it. You got to just take control like that.
Yeah, like that show Hentified, that it was a web series, lasted about 2 years. Now Netflix picked it up and it's a series, but it started from nothing. It started from some people who wanted to put Boyle Heights in a show and Latinos in a show,
Same with High Maintenance. High Maintenance was like a 10-minute thing that was running. HBO picked it up for a half-hour show. And then, I did this thing. I shot a pilot called Single Mike, right? I shot this little 10-minute sizzle reel like 3 years ago, based on my life, navigating single in LA. You know what I mean? Like my R-rated Seinfeld dream. And I shot it, and I was like, I love what I shot. It was kind of sitting around. I showed it to like 5, 6 of my boys that were in the business, either directors or whatever. And every few months, my boys would call and go, yo, what's going on with that? And so finally, enough people that I respected like asked me, what was going on with it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to go shoot this for real. And so I went and like got an investor and shot the pilot. And we just shot it and brought in some real actors and real. I got the DP from Shameless. You know what I mean? That my boy Kevin Connolly.
I got the mobster to invest.
I got the gangster. You know what I mean? I had to flip it on him. I'm not telling on you, bro, but you know what you could do? Cut a check for $200. But do it on your own.
How hard is it to get money if you don't know nobody?
Well, Felipe, if you know nobody,
a shaky video.
Because there's people right here who think they're gonna do a movie, bro. Felipe, I have a movie idea. You write it, call me after.
I'll tell you this. You're not getting money on an idea only, I think. You need to at least write the script. And then you go out.
Sizzle reel.
Or do a sizzle reel and go get the money. I did a sizzle reel. I gave it to a couple investment type of dudes that I knew who respected the comedy. And I got the money, because they love the sizzle.
I feel like treatments don't even get the idea across anymore.
They don't want to
read.
read.
Well, not just that. It's like they can't visualize what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have another idea once they see it on paper.
I'm sure you got ideas for yourself, bro. I know people are probably talking right now.
Well, we have development deal with a production company. But yeah.
But you hold on to your thing, whatever your thing is. Don't let somebody come in and be like, I want you to articulate every single word. No, bro.
Nah, man.
You're funny. You already know you're funny. That's the beautiful thing about stand-up is that it's science. You go out there, you say what you say, they laugh. It's a guaranteed done deal. You can't have an executive or anybody tell you I think this will be funnier. No, I just did it in front of 1,000 people. It's proven. So
right, because those executives, they have their ideas that are safe, what the trends are, who's doing what, but they're so scared to take a risk on a new idea.
They want to do a lighter version of what the last guy did.
I know they do because they feel
always.
It's always. They're going
to
keep their job.
Yeah. And the shit never works.
Never.
You know what I mean? What works is when you disrupt the harmony of what's going on.
It's like when Friday came out, 30 shitty Friday movies came out.
Exactly. And probably 3 TV shows.
And then when Pulp Fiction came out, 1,000 shitty Pulp Fiction came out.
Exactly.
Nothing against Boondock Saints, but it came out the same year too.
Yeah.
But that's a cult classic. Everybody bombed.
Boondock Saints?
Yeah.
That's so funny you said that. I just saw that the other day. What made you say Boondock Saints?
Because I've seen both of them.
Yeah. I love Boondock Saints.
It's a weird... That wasn't his biggest role ever.
Bob
Marley.
Yeah, exactly.
Billy
Damn, Bob Marley.
He's in part 2.
Yeah.
It's so stupid when Willem Dafoe could smell what happened. He envisions this guy was 6'2". He came out of there. The last guy was fat. He got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
He came down and he shot this guy like this way. He shot the whole scene, bro. Man, you wish that the fucking solving a crime was that easy, bro.
That's so funny that you said, well, Willem Dafoe, man, he's a freaky. He's just a.
You met him?
I never met him.
Gary Busey?
Met him.
Have you ever written for the roast?
I have not written for the roast. No. I don't know I don't know if roasting's my thing.
Me too.
I don't know, man.
Every roast I want to write, I want to keep.
Exactly.
Because I might need it one day. Somebody might fuck with me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've never been a roaster. I've never been good at the negative, bearing somebody. I
just bashing them.
Just bashing. That's never been my style of comedy. You know? What do you got there? Questions?
Some guy's asking a job advice to the other guys.
Oh my God.
I
guess what I'm really asking is, can I ever stop fucking up? The last job I had, I was fired a week ago, but the last 2 I was laid off, most likely for performance issues. Hey, bro. Cooper Wilkinson, write a book about why I get fired.
Yeah, I think you should listen to all the reasons you've gotten fired and maybe
write
take a look at yourself.
A book about why I get fired and why I don't do well in life. That should be a book.
Yeah.
That's a pamphlet.
There you go.
Can't take naps at work.
Right?
If you like writing fucking all these sentences on YouTube, bro, write a book.
You might as well, bro.
He's looking for advice in the comments.
Somebody wants to read it out there, bro.
100%.
Even if your name is Jose the Dirty Carpenter, you're a carpenter, but you always like write down whatever stupid thing that got you fired. What happened, bro?
Right.
I was laying some pipe, and I started giggling because they were all women, and then they let me go.
There's a market for
Because I ate all the shrimp.
There's a market for it all, bro. Write it down. Write all your firings.
People are asking you why you don't do the Comedy Store as much anymore.
Yo, I appreciate that question. I got beef. You know, I told you already.
Speak on it.
I'm a disruptive person.
It's funny you say that because we had a man, and he said he can't go up sometimes.
Yeah, and like
So the old crew can't, huh?
What's
like
up with
like
that?
my
Politics
boys are
and
going
politics,
up.
yeah.
You know, my boy. There's politics, so I get it. Like if you're famous, go ahead. Put
They
up.
always tell me to call in. Listen, man, I don't want to call in and take someone else's spot. I'm working every week.
No, but listen.
Yeah.
I'm not just stroking my ego. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm working
you
a
don't
lot. I'll give me my damn spot at a decent time, and if you don't believe me, go put me in the middle of all the bangers. Like, let's see how I do. You want to see? Like, let's go. You want to put me after Sebastian?
it
I'll
like-
go
Put me
after
in the hitters, see
Sebastian.
what you go.
You know what I mean? You want to put me after Joey Diaz? Put me after Joey Diaz. Those are my people. Let's see. But
So
like,
is it like you're having to prove yourself again to this newer crew?
no, there's some other weird
There's
thing,
something
man.
else?
I don't know if it's some other weird shit, but like I try not to take it personally,
Right.
because I'll get like every now and then I'll get like that later spot, but it's
Yeah.
like I got
Like
real people.
12?
Yeah, like a 12, 15, 12.
You gotta
30.
follow Jesus Trejo.
Which really means
Nothing against
145.
Jesus Trejo.
Which really means 145.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm like on the cusp of like, do I just fucking smack the manager? Like, you know what I mean? Because I got that in me.
Yeah.
Like, but I would not
I
do
think
that.
you have to unleash, bro.
You know what I mean? And by the way, I think Mitzi would be proud if I just smacked Adam. Like,
He's
just
an
not,
artist.
I don't give a fuck because, but whatever.
Mike Young's one of the greatest.
I can't get mad about it because there's no one to get mad at.
No wonder.
Right.
There's no one to get
You
mad
don't
at.
even know who's who.
And there's no like rhyme or reason, but whatever it is, I don't get as many spots as I used to get, and I wish I did because I'm in town for whenever I'm in town. I love the Comedy Store, but if
Me
if
too.
they're not gonna put me up, what can I say?
I do all of Sam Tripoli's shows.
Yeah, you get invited to the little shows.
Yeah.
But
And I do
That's
my,
the best
my
way to
other
do it.
homie from the college shows back in the day,
Yeah,
Skylar Stone.
yeah.
you'll do like once a month, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yo, so I love Tripoli, but
Yeah.
he like and by the way,
He's all over the place too, huh?
any shit that I've done, with anybody or for anybody.
Did he get robbed by a hooker too?
I think he did,
Yeah.
but not recently.
But back in the days after
Yeah.
Doublets,
Let me tell you, Tripoli. So remember when I had the
Twice.
Young
He said
American
twice.
tour?
twice.
Do you remember when I had the Young
He
American
looks
comedy
like somebody
thing?
good.
Yeah.
Remember that? Right?
That was, damn.
10, 12 years ago.
It's supposed to sound like this.
Yeah. But I put my boys on it. I made up a
Yeah.
fucking tour, bro, out of the
Damn.
thin air.
I didn't even know you did that.
Yeah.
Which tour?
The Young Americans tour
you
was
did
back in
that
the
one.
days.
A lot
Yeah.
of people get amnesia.
Yo,
bro.
I owned it.
People get
I
amnesia.
made it up on the patio of the Yo, this is my Jewish brain working, right? So somebody tells me like the Kings of Comedy made $16 million, and I was like, oh shit, with Bernie Mac and all those guys, and this 12 years ago, so we're all just like coming up, but we're funny. So I'm thinking on the Comedy Store patio, I'm looking at Sebastian and Brett and Bobby Lee and Tony Rock, and I'm looking Tripoli, and I see Tripoli, and I'm thinking, well, if they made $16 million.
Let's make
We
half that.
got at least $3 million worth of funny on the patio.
You know, it's funny you say that because at the same time you said that, so did Joey Medina, and he came in. He said, "Jamie Foxx had Laugh-A-Palooza. Fuck it, I'll do Lache-Palooza."
There you
And
go.
he did it.
Yeah. So I did it, right? So I put Tripoli on and Bobby Lee, and
Young Comedians
Young American
Tour.
Comedy Tour. We did it for 3 years. But then I wasn't like business savvy enough to like know what was going on, and like the improv chain, they kind of came at me like gangster style, and Robert Hartman was like, do you own this? Like, you own the tour? And I did. I owned it. I was paying franchise tax. I created the name and got a website. I did the whole thing. And so what he was really trying to say was, can I own half your shit and we'll keep booking you? So they booked us for like 3 years, but after that meeting with them, they shut us down. Like, we just never got booked again. And I didn't know the game enough. I just had no manager doing it. I was doing
What did Dan Murr want?
it wasn't Dan Murr. It was
Robert.
Hartman. It was
What
Hartman.
did Robert Hartman want?
He wanted like either a piece of it, like he wanted to own half of it or own the
Put it
whole
on
fucking thing.
Put it
and-
on TV?
It's
put
like
it on
Starbucks
TV.
coming in and buying up the mom and pop shop and saying, partnering with them and then just shutting them out of business.
Yeah,
basically.
and by the way, I would have given him the part of the tour, but I put Tripoli on the tour, and he did a bunch of cities with us. We had a great time. But then when he started doing his show at the Comedy Store, I'm like, yo, Sam, if there's any, you got any openings, I'm in town for a while, I'd love to do your show. And, he just forgot. You know what I mean? And it's like, I didn't do the Young American tour so that 12 years later I could be like, yo, you got to put me up for a spot. But it's like, motherfuckers just forget. Bro, Skylar Stone, he's your boy.
Here, my boy.
Let me tell you something.
He has Alzheimer's.
God bless. Listen,
Nobody's your boy. You're just cool with everybody. That's
I'm
pretty
cool
much
with
it.
everybody too. And I got
I
no
only
beef
know him
with
from here.
Let me tell you something. I got no beef with him. But one day, I don't even know him really at all. Like, I kind of know him from the comedy.
Laugh Factory.
I'm on the road with Saget. We're in the middle of nowhere. I get a text from him. I don't even know how he got my number.
Don't throw me off.
Bro, he texts me. I'm like, what? He's like, my kid loves Saget. My kid loves Saget. Can you have Saget do a video for my kid's birthday?
Oh my God,
So out
that's
of the
some bullshit.
Yo, so I just like say to Saget, yo,
I would've
I
broke my
say that it's
phone.
my boy, which it's not my boy, but I say, Bob, would you mind doing like a happy birthday to this kid? Of course, Saget does it. I send it to Skylar. I don't think anything of it, right? A month later, I see that he's doing like a rock and roll comedy night at the Comedy Store. Yo, so I'm like, yo, bro, if you got any spots, I'd love to do your show. This is in like June. He's like, oh yeah, no problem. I got an opening in April. 6 months later, motherfucker, you got an opening in April. It's just a spot. And by the way, I didn't do Saget's thing so I could get. I didn't even know you had a room. But like, I live by a code, Felipe.
April.
If you do
Unwritten
something like
rules,
that,
I remember I asked him
unwritten rules.
Yeah.
Unwritten rule, bro. Felipe, you do a happy birthday to my nephew. You know what I mean?
Not
and
you.
I see you.
You got it from somebody
Bob Saget.
else who you
Yeah.
work with.
Exactly.
Which is even harder.
Even
than
harder.
Just you
That's
doing it.
uncomfortable though.
Yeah, it's
So-
uncomfortable
Hell
asking
yeah.
first of all.
Uncomfortable
Yeah.
as shit.
That's like asking
By
for
the
two
way-
tickets before the show starts.
Right before the
that
day
shit
of the
fucks with
show,
me too,
yeah.
man.
I want to
Exactly.
sit right up front. Could you get me a bottle?
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, and Saget, he really didn't want to do it,
Hell no.
but I had to double ask him. I double asked
You
him.
got to think of how to ask
He
him.
did it.
How to, when do I ask him?
Yo,
After
Right after
breakfast.
his, right after his massage.
so I asked this guy, do you mind if I go up on one of your nights? Like, I'm thinking, oh yeah, next week, the week after, cool. April. So I don't say shit to him, but then it's like, it's bothering me. It's eating at me. It's eating
Got
at
a
me.
NOLSA just thinking
So you're
about
going up
it.
this next month.
It's bothering me. No, I'll
It's
never
April,
go.
Sky.
It's bothering me. So like a month later, after he tells me I can go up in 5 months, 6 months, I said, listen, bro, I gotta be honest. You have no code that you live by. Like, you got no integrity. I said, you don't have any principle.
He'll
He's like,
probably
what are you
do it.
talking about?
What?
I said, I didn't do the Bob Saget thing so I could get on your rock and roll comedy shit. You know what I mean? I said, I didn't even know you did a room. I said, but when I asked you to do it,
Yeah.
you're going to tell me that I could go up in 6 months? I said, you just don't have any fucking backbone.
You bug-eyed motherfucker.
For real.
That's like when
Nobody does that anymore,
That's
though,
like
dude.
when
Oh
you
my
used to when
God.
you paid for everything for Chepo, basically.
Oh, yeah.
You always treat him. You always booked him on shows, and then you ask him for a cup of coffee,
And he said no.
and he says no.
'Cause I, was,
And you
I
had
had
given him all
money.
that
I had
work.
money to buy a coffee,
That's
but
not
I
even
just
the
couldn't
point,
get
dog.
it and reach it. But I said, but I know he had
Get it
like,
for me,
I know
dog.
he had $5. Bro, give me a coffee. You have money,
you weren't
and
at the
he
counter,
came
yeah.
back and didn't get it.
Motherfucker's acting like I'm asking you for a kidney.
He
motherfucker.
didn't get it. I was like,
Right.
what
That's
the
the
fuck?
code.
So that's going to affect your relationship
Hell
for
yeah.
a long
You're
time.
gonna look at him sideways the rest
You
of
see
that
what
week.
happened when I stopped grappling?
But they don't. But to this day, this motherfucker doesn't get it. Still, I'm the bad guy.
Right, but isn't that interesting that that's how he would think, that you're
Yeah.
the bad guy? It's crazy. And by the way,
Wicked, bro.
I don't like to talk shit, but like,
But that made
and
me
I asked
angry, bro.
By the way,
I know how you feel.
and I asked a couple comedians before I approached him. I was like, "Am I wrong? Like, maybe I'm crazy?" And then a couple comics were like, "No, you got to just say something."
Yeah,
So
everybody's
I did.
a keyboard warrior now, dog. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I don't.
No
do
eye to
enough-
eye anymore. Very rare.
I went eye to eye.
Eye to eye is harder at first, but it
Yeah.
clears up
Yeah, it's
everything
better.
in the end.
Yo, the air
It's
is
coming
cleared.
from you, dude. And I listen, dude.
There's no
I'm a human too, dog.
miscommunication, Yeah.
And we,
Oh!
When you confront somebody in person,
Yeah.
like it's harder at first, but in the end, it's the better thing to do.
yo, and I see him at the store. It's all like, I'm not gonna. We're done talking. Like, there's nothing to talk about anymore. But I had to get off my chest. it was one of those things where I was like, I'm gonna just get uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable for me. I'm not a good communicator.
Yeah,
when
you
I'm
hold that
thinking-
shit in, you get ulcers, dog.
Yeah, I was like, let me let this one go. And so,
let it go.
but I was like, am I crazy or like somebody does that for you? You just put me up, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're next.
That's why
I just
it felt
fucking
like,
I
Don't worry
fixed your.
about the flyer. I got you
Or-
on these 10.
You're not on the flyer.
Or those dudes that you have always throwing bones, but they don't have bones to throw, but they keep wanting bones for the rest of their lives.
Right.
You
And that's
have
a
to come
whole
over here and
different.
change my brakes,
Oh,
bro.
those people too, yeah.
That's
or
a whole different thing, man.
Or somebody who did book you in the past.
Or no
but then
co- or-
now they're asking you for favors.
What I don't like is an open who doesn't do comedy no more, who happens to live now wherever you're doing stand-up comedy now, and he hits you up an hour before the show.
That's funny as hell because
That's
there are those dudes.
me, dude.
There's like a dude in Denver that you knew back in the
Like,
day.
I really want to
Dude.
see you.
Shows up at the comedy
And
club.
you know what city he lives in, and you know you're in that city. You didn't want to answer the fucking. You don't want to open it up.
So true, man.
And why would you even show up even if they didn't open up your fucking little fucking message?
That is so
There's
true.
no
Oh,
correspondence.
I hate when a comic. It's your show already, or it's Bob Saget's show, but there's a comic who lives in LA, whoever, but he wants to impress the manager that week to get booked, but he wants to do a guest spot, and you're like, bro, come on, man, I can't. It's already uncomfortable already.
It's not my club. I can't make the call. You know what I mean?
I can't. You know that most of these people who ask for this won't shut up either. They're gonna do all the yapping in the green room.
Right. It's like,
Order a prime rib.
Because you feel uncomfortable, bro. If you're not headlining and there's a yapper there, you know who the headliner doesn't even know. But
That
you're
looks
there.
bad on you, dude.
And by the way, it lets you know that like there's just not that many funny people in the world.
I know, man. Like,
Like, yo, bro, you had to
we're-
move out of LA. You ain't fun. You're not funny in Denver. You ain't gonna be funny if you go to Chicago. You're just gonna fuck
Indiana.
our show up.
Yeah,
Like,
we had a comedian working with us, and then he had a friend that showed up. All right, he was in a green room. All right, for one night, but then they ordered a steak, and I said, man, you better not come here tomorrow.
hell no.
Don't you even show up? Well, you ordered a steak. You ain't
Oh,
even
but
going-
I'm from this city.
I don't give a fuck if Toby Hicks spent a night at your house 10 times a day. I didn't spend a night over there.
Exactly.
I didn't even know who you are.
Your lady didn't suck my dick on stage.
What? Hell no.
That's why you gotta just not accept any favors
what the
because
fuck?
they'll always want
So-
something else. So we just say no to
Who
everything.
are you?
Pass.
Bruce Jingles?
Yeah, but they get that little hook.
I know, man. That's why I say no to all T-shirts. Anybody who wants to bring you, I just want to bring you a T-shirt. That guy threw a T-shirt on you in the meet and greet. Quick photo. You're wearing a shirt.
You gotta navigate, bro. And you're only getting bigger and
want
stronger. So you just
You-
keep doing it the right way and just you know what I mean. Say no to the dude in Denver.
But it's funny when
You
people
ever go
just
to your
fucking-
hometown and all your buddies had to hit you up?
Yeah, always. But like my hometown, they're not hitting me up for spots. They're looking for free tickets.
Yeah.
So I'll hook that up. Like, you know, obviously I got a big family back there, some friends I haven't seen in a while. So that I don't mind so much. You know what I mean? So like the friends in my hometown, you know, I only got 4 of them. So it's all good.
Yeah, don't try to ask
Yeah.
for tickets for
Yo,
the
bro,
Netflix party.
You know, I don't know. Do you remember I still do the bit about having a criminal friend? Do you remember that?
No.
No, the one I like though is the one the Hennessy that turns into the 86-year-old black man.
Yeah.
Damn, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah. I'll still bring that out of the fun.
badass
If I see a
good,
Hennessy go down, it's going
I used
down.
to like the one where you did about the one about I used to laugh in the back and the one about role playing or roller skates or something.
No.
Role playing
know.
or roller skates.
No, you're thinking of Brett Ernst. by
Yeah,
the way.
that's
Brett
the
Ernst
roller-
does the
his
roller
bit.
skates
Roller
thing.
skates and scruncho.
Yeah, that was
That's
Brett.
right.
Brett Ernst does
Brett
the
Ernst puts on roller
Egyptian
skates too,
lover
like
or whatever.
Scruncho.
Yeah.
His was the roller skate bit.
Well, he doesn't put them on.
Yeah.
He just does
Yeah.
like
Oh.
this.
What
to
were you gonna
the
bring up
song.
right now though?
I was gonna say one of my boys was a straight criminal that I grew up with, you know, in and out, and just he lives that life. But the one time I brought him, we did the Young American Comedy Tour at the Royal Oak Music Theater, at a big theater, a nice venue. I see him first time in a long time. This motherfucker robs like a cash register. Like he robbed my own show. He basically robbed not the whole show, but he got a hold of like one of the cash registers or whatever near the bar, and he's.
It making twice
I'm
even
like,
worse, you know.
motherfucker, you robbed me. Like,
Mike,
you
Mike.
robbed me.
Mike, you're gonna stop.
He was laughing
I
about
was
it.
letting you know I never changed.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Go back to one of his friends.
One of my
Oh,
friends
just one of your
robbed my
friends.
own
Oh
venue.
my God.
And what's up with
at
White
a
Boy Rick?
gunpoint or just grabbed it.
Oh yeah. Tell
In the
us
middle
about
So
of
you're from
everything.
Detroit, right? So you know White Boy Rick.
I do. I know White Boy
You know
Rick.
his father. Or you know him.
I know him.
We're about the same
So-
age then, huh?
Yeah, me and Rick are like the
Yeah.
same age. Yep. So, but growing up in middle school, he was famous. Like we knew White Boy Rick when he was free. Like we knew who he was. He would be like the white boy in a fur coat with a gold chain going across during recess. But long story.
Were people really selling guns that much in that city?
Hell yeah. In the
To this
80s
day
in
or
Detroit,
80s?
when crack hit, his dad was a major gun runner. So his dad was
You know,
running
from
guns.
gun shows.
He would get them from the gun shows. He was known to have the best guns for the best price.
Damn.
But he started selling them to killers and dope dealers, and he didn't know who he was. A dad. He didn't know who he was really selling to. And then when the feds came, they were already looking at him. When the feds came down on the dad, boom, the dad had Rick. He had his son with him at like a lunch or whatever, and the feds were showing the dad pictures of these gangsters, and they're like, "Who's this?" And the dad's like, "I don't know." But Rick was like, "Yo, that's Butch Jones, the head of the Young Boys Incorporated. That's so and so." So you saw the movie. If you saw the movie, the story was the feds start paying him when he's 14 years old. But the way I know him, the way I really know him is I wrote a drama that was set in Detroit in the 70s, and I hired a criminal research dude. And so the criminal research dude was always talking to Rick from other stuff, like from articles and whatever. And one day, Rick called while we were at dinner, and he put me on the phone with him. So this is before the movie came out. And so we started talking on the phone while he's locked up. And turns out, he knows people in Hollywood because, Scott Silver wrote the movie and Scott Franklin produced it. And, it's a big movie. Matthew McConaughey stars in his
dad,
movie.
right?
Yeah. What's that?
That's his dad in the
Yeah, he
movie,
plays
right?
his dad.
Yeah, McConaughey plays his dad. Yep. So we start talking, and he's like, "Yo, bro, will you sign up on my prison thing so that I could call you whenever? I want to talk to you about some things." So long story short, he asked me if I would write his book. He wanted to do a book. So he knew I did Rapaport's book. He knew I was a writer. We got along on the phone, and he asked me if I would do his book. And I said, hell yeah, if we get a real deal, after, because he's supposed to get out like in the next 16 months. He's done 30 years
damn.
already.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
when he gets out, he wants me to do his book. So we talk every week. But obviously as a comedian, there's comedy and all this shit. So like when his movie was going down, he's like, my first movie that I did was financed by Dan Gilbert, who owns the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Damn.
He owns the Cavs. So he put up all the money. So he asked me, because they shot White Boy Rick in Cleveland. They shot most of it in Cleveland, even though it was set in Detroit. They had to shoot it in Cleveland for tax incentive. But Rick was like, yo, bro, can you get McConaughey front row seats? I was like, yo, bro, here's how the world works on the outside. Like, Matthew McConaughey doesn't need me, fucking Mike Young, the comedian, to get him tickets to the Cavs game. He can just basically call the owner, probably, Dan Gilbert, and he can get tickets. And so, you know what I mean? Like, he don't need me. McConaughey doesn't need me. So the next thing you know, McConaughey, you turn on the TV, there's McConaughey sitting front row at the Cavs game next to Dan Gilbert. But, through this whole thing, Rick and I have remained friends, and I'm going to do his book when he gets out.
Nice.
And so,
Good job.
it'll be a big,
Good job.
It should be a big book. You never know. It's a crazy story.
He's already
Fucking
telling you wild shit.
beyond wild shit, bro. And it's public knowledge, so
Right.
I could tell you, the feds are paying him at 14 years old. They put him in the game, right? So they're giving him money. Make a buy here. Tell us who's who. Blah, blah, blah. He's with them for, till he's 17 years old. 14 to 17, he's an informant. So when he's 15, he's making moves on his own. Now he's not telling the feds everything. He's making deals. He's selling kilos on his own. He's making real money and trying to do it on the low. By the time he's 16, the feds are, and they're doing real shit with him. They're like, here's $2,000. Here's $2,000. We got you a ticket to the Hearns-Hagler fight in Vegas. You're going to go to the fight in Vegas, and you're going to come back, and you're going to tell us who the Detroit-Miami connection is, because you know how the dope dealers go to major fights. So all the Detroit guys were going out there. They're going to meet their connect. He was supposed to come back. But he goes out there. He's a kid. He's fucking 16 years old at the time. He goes out there. He ends up sleeping with hookers, doing drugs. You know what I mean? He doesn't tell anybody. He gets no information. Goes to the fight. You know what I mean? Hangs out at the after parties. Had the best time ever. Comes back. I don't think your brain is fully settled as a kid until you're in your late 20s. It's just a fact.
Oh, yeah.
You're a guy, too.
And you're a dude.
Honestly.
We're even later. So in his mind, he's really fucking thinking he's living a movie. He's just living it. He's got $10,000 in his pocket at all times. And unfortunately, he didn't get the memo when the feds were like, yo, bro, we're done with you. quit dealing drugs. We already know what you're doing.
So he's just doing the crime, continuing the crime then, right?
He kept the crime going. So when they eventually, he's 17 years old, they catch him fucking coming home one night. They got the tip from a dirty cop, and they find he's got 7 kilos of cocaine in the trunk. And they fucking find him. They lock him up. And next thing you know, he goes to trial, and he's got the gangster lawyer, the high-powered lawyer, and he thinks that because of the situation he was in, he's going to get off, or he's going to get probation as a minor.
Yeah.
No, it was the Michigan, it was the lifer law. So if you had over 350 grams of cocaine, you were life without parole. That was it back then. You got life without parole. So they fucking gave him life without parole.
When white privilege backfires.
And he wasn't white privilege. He was poor white trash. He was fucking poor. He grew up in the hood in Detroit. You know what I mean? His dad was a hustler.
We've got to make an example out of him.
An example. But they really locked him up.
Why so much?
Because they didn't catch all those other fools too.
Not just that. He had the dirt on everybody. So in Detroit in the
Give it
80s, everybody was dirty. The
mayor.
mayor, the chief of police. Yo, remember the movie, Beverly Hills Cop? Gil Hill, who played the detective, the chief of police, who played against Eddie Murphy. That was in the movie. That was the real. That was the real Gil Hill that played that part.
Oh, really?
They got him on a federal wiretap, accepting like $50,000 in a to cover up some crime. Like I saw the video. He's like Gil Hill, the actor. And they indicted him. He ended up. Yeah.
You going?
Exactly. He was fucking.
You going to Beverly Hills? Why?
He was corrupt, bro.
He's a good actor, though.
He was he was damn
that
good.
Was the mayor?
That was the chief of police.
Like Dennis Farina, dude. National actors and shit.
Yeah, he was the real chief of police.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And he was
reminded
dirty.
me of my 8th grade principal, who got caught for coke.
Yeah. And so they
just
gave
like
Rick
him.
life because he had the dirt on everybody. He put 40 cops away. I mean, the dude that tried to kill him, the assassin that was hired to kill him, who shot him and missed, but had 25 bodies on him as a hired killer anyway, he ended up getting out in 16 years. He got 16 years.
Rick got the most of everybody.
Rick got the most. Rick was in federal prison. One day, in walks the guy that tried to kill him. And Rick's like, oh, shit, here comes the fucking, Nate Boone Craft is his name. He's public knowledge. And I was like, so I said to Rick when I was doing, starting to craft like just some like beats of the book, I was like, what was that like when the guy that tried to kill you came into jail? And he's just like cool about it. He's just like, yo, man, we walked, we talked it out. We were like, yo, we were both young. We were in the game. This is what it was.
And it wasn't his personal desire to kill this guy. It was a job, right?
Yeah, it was always a job for that guy.
Yeah.
It was never personal with him. This dude was a straight work for hire, and he was. But he missed Rick, and the way he talked about it, he was like, he's like, man, I tried to get him. I was on the rooftop. He went in the other entrance. He's like, I was gonna get him on the day of his court date. He's like, I had my scope ready. I was on the building.
Damn.
He's like, he decided to go around back. I couldn't believe it, man. I fucking missed him. Like talking about it. It's it's fucking dangerous.
Does
people,
Homeboy
bro.
still have a colostomy bag or no?
No.
That's all bullshit in the movie?
Bullshit.
Oh, okay.
He did have it, but it
For a
was
while.
only for like under a year.
Okay.
In the movie, that's another thing. In the movie, I felt like, he just cleared it up for me right there. Because I was like, well, why? I thought the drugs that he was found with were actually given to him for the job. You know what I mean?
No.
But it was him continuing the crime.
He was doing
And I don't
it.
think that was made clear in,
No, it
in the
wasn't.
movie.
It was
It
not.
made you feel sorry for
It
him.
made you feel more like these detectives all turned on
Yeah.
him, and
Yeah.
Yo, it's-
and I'm sure they were corrupt, but they didn't give it to him and then set him up and then arrest him.
Exactly, and that's why the movie it didn't do that
Any
well.
justice.
I was
'cause it
confused by that.
It was a confusing. And the director was like from Europe, like he's like a European director who's like dope with like the visual shit, but like you gotta be you gotta have some street
This ain't
knowledge.
less to square, mate.
It wasn't the movie that it should have been because his story was fucking bananas.
It looked better than it actually was.
Right. It was his story is
They
ridiculous.
made Matthew McConaughey gangster too, huh?
Yeah, they made him get.
Semi.
Well,
Yeah.
the dad
But they
was
seemed to make him
a hustler.
less involved. Though,
Yeah,
than
he was
Yeah.
more detached because once
Yeah.
Homeboy started making mad money, kind of
Yeah.
worked for the family worked for him. Remember, he
Right.
got the sister off the streets and all that bullshit.
And they made him like look like the real truth is he was never like a kingpin dope dealer. They tried to make him like a kingpin.
Right.
He was always a mid to low level.
In his
Who
neighborhood.
was
In the
the
neighborhood.
kingpin at the time in Detroit when he was around?
I mean, Butch Jones, who was the head of the YBI, which was the Young Boys Incorporated, and Cliff Jones.
Who were the
So,
other ones before them? The
The Chambers
Chamber
brothers.
Brothers. What you know about them?
So the Chambers brothers, they were real.
You were a kid when they were around.
I was a little kid, but my mom taught
It was
public.
like 80s, right?
Yeah, but
Early 80s?
but my mom was a public school teacher in Detroit, like right outside Detroit in Southfield.
Chamber Brothers, bro.
So my mom had students that were connected to all those guys, you know, and she would like know about those guys, and you know, she taught some real bad dudes, and so we just always knew about those guys. But the Chambers brothers, you know, they were, you know, the first big time dope dealers in the city, and they went against the gangster. Like there was like the Young Boys Incorporated was the biggest organized gang, you know, but the Chambers brothers were their own gang, and they came from the South. So like the movie, Denzel movie, American Gangster, that was based on the Chambers brothers. That was based on the dudes that really were. They were in Detroit. They changed it in the movie. I don't know where they were from.
It was Harlem, I
New
think.
York, yeah.
Yeah, but that was the inspiration for those guys. But they got caught because they were just so fucking flashy, and they were taking pictures of them with cash money, and like, we're gonna give these singles to the homeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that
it'd be on
Corvettes.
video. But
Giving away turkeys.
but the dope dealing in Detroit, it was the worst city at the time because crack came in, and that was it. When crack
And
hit,
GM was gone around the same time, a little bit later, right after that, right?
yeah, the auto industry had
Yeah.
plummeted.
Or not just GM, but yeah.
Yeah, Ford, GM, they all went down, and they and Detroit was just a disaster, and it went into the tank.
There are
And
a
it
lot
was
more users
When-
now.
when you were a
probably,
Major,
depressed, people are
major.
depressed.
When you were a kid growing up, did you saw the change immediately, or your parents saw it more?
My mom saw it big time. She saw kids on crack. She saw shit. So like I grew up in Southfield, which is like a mixed community. And then like the kids from Detroit had the chance to get bused to my school. So like in 8th grade, it was like a wave of, you know, black kids and 7 Mile like Arabs. Like all of a sudden, boom. We called them Arabs because that's just how we roll. Like that's just they were my boys. Like, but that's just kind
A
of
lot
how
of them, right?
that's how they talked about each other.
Yeah.
Like that's just how you talk. They're actually called Chaldean. Is like the real. They were a Christian sect from Iraq that started coming to Detroit
damn.
and opening liquor stores and stuff like that. And so-
Christian selling liquor.
you know, so they were the first kids I saw with like, you know, knots of cash in like middle school,
Turning water to wine.
literally. And so my school became like a super mixed, diverse school. Like Hollywood, you want to talk about diversity? Don't fucking tell me about diversity, bro. I'll fucking send you back to my locker partner. You know what I mean? We had real diversity in Detroit back then. So it was, but you saw that when the crack fucking hit, it was like,
Boom. huh?
shit changed like immediately. People were getting fucking killed in close areas, and I was in the suburbs. You know what I mean? But my dad, you know, we were working class, and then my dad made a little more money when I got older, and like kind of got us out of the one neighborhood into like a more like upper middle class situation. But for a long time, bro, the first neighborhood I was in was that type of white trash that you saw in The Outsiders. Like you think that's just a movie?
Live next
Yeah.
door to
There's
Pony Boy.
real fucking white people with leather jackets
That's me.
and guns. Like I didn't even like I
No,
was,
they don't
and they
care.
hated me.
And
'cause of-
they're in San Bernardino, dude.
yeah, exactly that type of shit, bro. That I saw that as a kid, and we were like the only
With
Jewish
bleed
family.
pants.
We were like the only Jewish family on the block. But I saw a lot of shit as a kid because my dad, I mean, just full disclosure, he passed away when he was young, very young. But my dad saw, you know, my dad used to run an all men's, this is going to sound ridiculous, but my dad used to run like an all men's health club. And the Detroit mob, this was the drama that I
Steams
wrote.
every day.
Yeah, for real. She knows. So this was the drama I was working on when Rick got a hold of me. But my dad used to run a place called the Southfield Athletic Club. And the Mafia, the Detroit Mafia, that was their headquarters. Like the heads of the mob, they would work out there, take steams, all that. Detroit Kronk Boxing, Tommy Hearns, you know, Hilmer Kente, all the Kronk boxers that were champions, they would work out there. And it was kind of like a center place. And my dad was like making no money, but he was like running the place, and he was like just like a trusted guy. Like my dad was not a gangster at all. He was just a middleman type of person who they just liked him. He was a likable dude. He played racquetball. He would set it up. So like as a little kid, me and my brother would be running around this place, and this was the place that if you Google Southfield Athletic Club, it will come up like AmericanMafia.com. And when Jimmy Hoffa disappeared in 1975, everybody's alibi was that they were taking a steam, at the Southfield Athletic Club. So I used to joke about like I'd be like, I think Hoffa disappeared in my grandpa's car, but that was the place that like the Hoffa disappearance. That was the one centerpiece that everybody knew, because, you know, whoever allegedly killed Hoffa, they think it was, you know, The Irishman, the movie that's coming out with Scorsese. Frank Sheeran, you know, basically said he killed Hoffa on his deathbed, but he was in Detroit.
It was a purple gang out of Detroit.
That's out of Detroit.
The original one.
That's real.
They were bootleggers, bro. That's the original purple gang out of Detroit. They were the Jewish mafia, bro, at Cleveland, too.
I love that you know
I wrote the
that.
book, bro. I wrote the book.
So the Purple Gang, so the Keywell family, who was like the head of that shit, you know, they were Jewish gangsters, like real bad gangsters.
Bad motherfuckers.
They'd call them out to New York to go take care of shit. They call them to Chicago to take care of shit. But they were the Purple Gang. They called them that because they were young and they had fucking, you know, fucking flush faces.
Cold,
they looked
too.
like purple kids in the cold. So that's where they got their name. But the Purple Gang, boom, then became the Detroit Mob. And the Detroit Mafia was super powerful because even though they didn't have like a seat on the 5 families, the commission, they still got major respect because they ran, you know, scrap metal and trucking and, you know, the auto industry. They had a hand in everything. So if you like look back at like, you know, Henry Ford Jr., there was always like another guy that was like second in command at Ford who like
controlling the strikes.
He was controlling the strike. I forgot his name. He was like Ford gave him the job. And he would just run. He would start his own fucking dealership. He would do whatever he had the run of the mill because the gangsters ran shit. You know what I mean? And my dad was just like like in the middle of all this shit. And growing up, my brother and I were just lucky enough to see like really cool shit, like champion boxing matches when we were like 10 years old. My dad, Sugar Ray, Tommy Hearns, you know what I mean? Duran, that whole era. My dad was like taking the family to Vegas for $100. Like we didn't have to pay. And so, you know, I don't know how deep you want to go in the story, but like I'd be like 12 years old in a 4-bedroom suite at Caesar's Palace, you know, and like me and my brother would be like giddy kids, like
smoking a cigar.
You know what I mean? I quit smoking cigars. I quit smoking cigars when I was 11.
White boy Mike.
You know?
That's Rapaport.
But like we saw some really cool shit. So my whole life my brother would always be like, you got to tell this story about like the club. And so finally I just like, you know, for like 5 months I dedicated myself just to writing this drama. And so I mapped it out, I wrote it out, and Eminem and Paul Rosenberg, his manager, came on board as producers. So like we haven't sold it, we haven't taken it out yet, but that's what it's about, that era. And I got to like fictionalize some things because, you know, some people are still alive, but I also got to fictionalize like my dad's type of character because my dad really was just a good dude who like eventually went into scrap metal, and like because of his relationships, they let him fly and make money, and my dad just was making cash, like just cash money. And I probably have to like change his character to make him more of a dangerous type person to fucking sell it to like networks are like, is he a killer but a nice guy? They want Breaking Bad type of shit, and I couldn't wrap my head around it because my dad was just like a really super nice, cool dude. He didn't have it like that, but I'll fictionalize something and take it to the next level. But we saw some shit, bro. Like, you know, when my dad passed away, me and my brother still got, his friends would like, you know, look out, you know, call us, make sure we're all right. And so like when I was like 19, I went to Vegas, and one of my dad's friends, and I was going to call the drama like the scrap man, the doctor, and the gangster. Because my dad's best friend was a doctor who was like the gangster. He was like the doctor for like the fighters and the athletes and entertainers. And his other boy was kind of like this underworld type figure who owned like massage parlors on 8 Mile. You know what I mean? Like he had places like that. And we never really asked what he did. But like when I was 19, we go to Vegas, and me and my brother, and he would just like give us like this card. And he'd be like, this is for your food, and you know, whatever you want, just take this and you eat whatever you want. And you should call it Stories from the Southfield Athletic Club. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people came through there, but you know, we were fortunate. You know, we were unfortunate that my dad died young, but we were fortunate to see a lot of shit in a short period of time. You know, Detroit had it was like lightning in a bottle at that moment. You know, to think that like Hoffa, the biggest murder mystery in American history, basically, the connecting tissue was this place, the Southfield Athletic Club, and it was, you know, very. You knew you were at something that was just like a different thing.
Bro, serious.
Actually, you said Purple Gang.
Purple Gang.
So, you know, the Phoenix Suns for a while, they used that as their nickname. back in the day because their colors were purple.
Purple and yellow, yeah, or orangish.
So my brother one day is like running around the athletic club in a Phoenix Suns purple gang shirt. It says purple gang. But my brother's just a kid with a Phoenix Suns jersey, and he runs into like one of the heads of the, guys,
OGs.
like OG, who's like a, older man at the time. And he takes my brother and he's like, "Where's your father? Let's go to your father's office." And he walks us to my dad's office at the club, and he's like, "Sam, tell your kid to take the shirt off." My brother had to fucking take the shirt off.
You're not a member.
You're not a member. Gave my brother a fucking sweaty ass Rapaport shirt.
You have dates coming up with Bob?
Yeah, I do. I got some dates coming up. I got so April 13th. I'm at the PlayStation Theater in New York with Saget. We're
What's
doing
up?
PlayStation Theater. April 11th. I'm at the Count Basie Theater in Jersey. And so we're doing, Bob and I have like 12 shows in the Northeast. So we're doing Count Basie Theater. Then we're doing PlayStation Theater on the 13th. Then we're doing Rutledge, Vermont, whatever theater's up there. We're doing New Hampshire. We're doing all that. So if you're up in the Northeast area, Saget and I are coming. We're coming, starting in April.
And you don't have to go in a hot tub with him?
No hot tub.
Does he have any road demands or any hangout demands?
No,
or
Bob is
anything?
one
He's
of the
real cool.
coolest dudes.
seems like it.
He gets up when he doesn't need to have lunch with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a mature enough guy.
He's a grown
fine
ass
by
man.
himself.
He's got three kids. He's got a wife. He don't need me.
He likes his alone time.
Yeah, and so do I. You know what I mean?
Need me.
He don't need me. You know what I mean? I
I'm
understand
alone.
the politics.
Me and my beers. I'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina this weekend, April 4th through 6th at the Comedy Zone. Riverside, April 9 at Life Arts Center, Spanish show. Viva los Chistes. San Diego, April 13 at the Comedy Palace, Gold Room, all Spanish show. Rodrigo Torres, Martin Rizzo, and Benji.
And Luis Sotelo.
And Luis Sotelo. Tacoma, Washington, April 18 through the 20 at the Tacoma Comedy Club. Albuquerque, New Mexico, April 27 at the Isleta Resort Casino.
Go see Felipe.
And a bunch of new dates
What's
are about to come
up,
in
fool?
next 2 weeks.
A shitload, huh?
A shitload for the end of the year.
What's your Instagram and Twitter?
Instagram at The Real Mike Young.
And where can we see that movie? What's the name of the movie?
My movie on
Stand-up
Netflix
guy?
is called...
Download that motherfucker. Watch
called
it played.
Do that. It's called
will.
A Stand-Up Guy.
I'll check it out.
It's
tonight.
on Netflix, and
I
then my
do.
other movie's called My Man is a Loser, which is on...
It's funny, you don't
iTunes.
see...
On where?
you know,
iTunes?
could we just, before we leave, we say something?
Yeah.
Every fucking time we go do a show, or try to pitch a show, nah, it's not going to work. This Seinfeld the only comedy guy show.
Oh, yeah.
Seinfeld the only movie show. We get to they run into the corners about I can't be the comedian on a sitcom, and then we always say, but listen, man, that's his version. I'm a Latino.
Yeah,
there hasn't been a guy who's a Latino comedian who has a show, and it's just a comedian.
Right.
Absolutely,
We
bro.
get always, whenever we sit to pitch something.
And tell them about the weed
and
one, too.
Well, yeah. Well, the first one was we pitched a show years ago, 6
Like-
years
like
ago.
high
To his
maintenance.
manager. It wasn't
Yeah.
even an executive. It was your manager at the time.
Yo, bro, I'll write you a hit. You call Mike
Well,
Young.
we wanted to do a show before there were any others. We wanted to do a show about two guys who kind of like clerks, but who worked in a weed shop. This was 7 years ago, 8 years ago. How long have I been your manager? 8 years?
8,
7 years.
7.
So, but
Yeah, she quit her job, her IT job.
well,
2
because
years.
his manager it just got ridiculous. But anyway, so he said, well,
They want handouts.
I don't know about weed as a subject for a whole show. People aren't really doing that. And it was like, wait, but it's becoming legal in all these states. Like we had to fight even your manager to even try to pitch this and get it
Yeah.
out the door to pitch to actual.
I wish we would have got the
executive.
show and I would have told her, you didn't get shit right.
I know.
You said no.
But then also, pitching to executives, you get that thing where, what are we going to have you do, or what's your job going to be? Because you know, audiences don't really like to watch shows about comedians. And I'm like, well, fucking Seinfeld
this
was
guy.
super successful. Crashing
Yeah.
is a huge success. What, 3rd season now on HBO?
And Louis.
There were plenty of shows about comics that do well.
Exactly.
How come we get the no
Mike Young's
all the
movie.
time? Mike Young's
Every movie I do has a comedian in it.
we
All I
pitch
do
it-
is write the shit I know.
We pitch it and it gets shut down. It's very annoying.
It's not about
No.
the he-he's. The
You
real
got-
Mike Young on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. Twitter, what the hell am I? Oh, just Real Mike Young. I'm The Real Mike Young on Instagram. Twitter, I barely do.
Facebook.
Johnny, what you got going?
Because of all this, I've never been good at social media, bro. I gotta hire a social media person.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at it. I don't do it. I spend my time writing, not in the social zone. I gotta get in this. So
That's what Martin should do. He should outsource his services and just do some social media for some of his comedian friends.
I'm open to talking to anybody that knows social media. I'd
50
rather
bucks
never
a
go
week.
on.
You talk to his
$50
dick,
a week, right? That's not fair.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
$50 a week. That guy, all he needs is he could do that. He could
Bust
stay at
out
home.
like 5 tweets a week or.
You got 50 from him,
day,
50 from
whatever.
Willie. Oh, come on, bro. Only got 20.
I think you just hit the modest, bro.
But you got going, Johnny, besides getting some conditioner.
Tomorrow I'm at the Lexington, downtown LA, and then I'm with you this week.
Rodrigo?
Charlotte.
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 What the fuck? I can't believe Rodrigo wearing the Rodrigo co-host of the year is wearing a fucking headphone with fucking duct tape. It's the fuck, what the fuck's going on
Welcome
here,
to All Things Studios. All Things Comedy Studios.
Lisa has a fresh mic. Thank God for that.
Do I?
She didn't even have a fucking headphone, man.
No, neither of us have headphones.
No,
I'm gonna have
they
to
didn't
donate.
give
We're gonna
us-
have to donate some money to the All Things
I got
Comedy
2 at the
Studio for
house.
headphones.
Okay.
Start my own studio. That's it.
We gotta start with the air conditioning.
All right, bye.
I know. You wrote something lately? Yeah, it's getting fucking hot in here.
Those are warm.
Yo, bro. Thank